And yeah, look at this, guys. I remembered this happening. They just start flying, trying to sort of climbing up. You imagine? Oh, that's the screenshot for the battle right there, guys. Hey YouTube, what's up? My name is HamdogCDXX and welcome back to another really close Total War Attila online battle replay of a siege. So today, guys, we've got the two Saxon forces besieging the Eastern Roman Empire, and they have to hold. Now, they do have quite a good defensible city. I mean, this city is pretty hard to take because there's a lot of choke points that you can hold. And then it falls down to just these two single choke points, and then you can actually get a siege tower up over here. So I am sending a siege tower over there to try and get a couple of units of swords onto the walls at the end of the battle. But the enemy does have a couple of units of cavalry outside the city, so that is probably going to cause a problem for us later on. So let's go ahead, take a look at the first Saxon force, my force. So we've got at the front, we have, I thought I had more archers than two, but maybe one of them's already routed. No, I think just 2 units of archers. These are really cheap units of archers, so just the standard Saxon archers, so they're just there to try and burn the towers down or to affect the enemy's morale a little bit, so yeah. Not looking too cool, but yeah, I still love the way they look. Proper good Saxon warriors trying to prove themselves. And then if we go over to the siege towers, we've actually got some chosen warriors. So these are the really battle hardened infantry for the Saxons. So they're going to cause a lot of trouble for the Eastern Roman Empire. I've got 6 units of these on the siege towers, and then I've got 1 unit pushing up a battering ram as well. So I don't usually use battering rams, but yeah, in this situation with a 2v1 siege, I think I will use it. And this tower's actually taken a little bit of damage, killing quite a few men with that hit, so that's a shame. And then we've also got a couple of units of spearmen to deal with the enemy cavalry. Some nice Nordic spearmasters. I gotta love the way that they look, kneeling down in the trees, waiting to ambush enemies that walk past. So yeah, really cool spear unit. Again, just the counterpart for the chosen warriors in the spear department. And we have also got 4 units of cavalry, so I believe we've just got 2 Saxon lancers and 2 heroic cavalry. So yeah, guys, you can see that these are pretty heavily armored, and they're going to really cause a problem for the enemy if we can get some nice rear charges in later on. So guys, that's pretty much it for my army. I mean, I've got a couple of catapults, and then I've also got this chieftain with good right, I think is how you say it, chieftain with good right. So yeah, I think they've got the same shields as the besieged, and yeah, they look really cool as well. So where's our general? I think that's probably him right there, next to the standard bearer in the purple. The royal colours of Total War always seem to have purple. But yeah, that's my army, so let's go ahead and check out the other army. Let's actually pop it onto slow motion because the battle is about to start. So his army, again, I assume he's got a lot of chosen warriors and these besieged. So I think these guys are actually better for melee defense, but that just means that they're going to hold out a little bit longer once they do get onto the walls. So yeah, these are a really cool unit. I think they're the same price as the chosen warriors. They just have a few different stats. He's also got some axe warriors, so some Nordic axe warband, and these guys absolutely tear through the enemy forces once they get into combat with them. I think they have a frenzy ability which makes them go berserk. Well, not berserk, but you know, they get a bunch of kills. So got a bunch more axe warriors. He's coming with a really attack-of stance. And again, some more Nordic. So it looks like he's gone for 1 unit of chosen warriors onto the walls and 4 units of axes. then going back a little bit further, he's got some skirmishers. So yeah, these are the best Saxon skirmishers that he can bring. So yeah, they're just looking ready to get into battle. I think these are pretty okay in melee combat as well, so they'll be good once the ammo has run out. And then yeah, we've got a few more units of these Gesitas. So yeah, just looking absolutely amazing. I do love the way they look with the royal red colour on those shields and the dragons or a sea serpent or something. Looks cool. And yeah, he's got another 3 units of Gesitas there, and he's also got a chieftain with Gudrite moving through the forest as well. And yeah, I did show you these guys before. A couple more units of chosen warriors and another unit of archers. Yeah, I did have 3 units of archers. So yeah, let's take a look at the defending force. So he is spread pretty thin, so he's having to fall back to these choke points. So he's brought, I believe, 4 units of pikes, is it? Yeah, he's got 4 units of these Menolatoi. So they're really good at holding the line. However, if I can get my archers up in front of them, or even just some missile weapons, they're really going to suffer. And we've also got some archers waiting to, well, they've already shredded the majority of my archers. As you can see, all of the caltrops there stopping my cavalry getting close to the gates as well. So yeah, I think these are actually armored Sagittarii. Yeah, these are really good archers, and my archers are just simple Nordic bows, so they're not gonna be able to win that engagement. Probably should have saved them for later. And he's got a bunch more units. He's even got some crossbows on the barricade, so they absolutely tear through my men while we try and tear down the barricade. So hopefully we don't lose a full unit trying to do that, because as I'm sure you know, if you attack the front of a barricade and crossbows are up there, they will absolutely shred you. But luckily we can actually get around the side, but I guess it just means they only have to use 1 melee unit to hold that choke point. And yet they've got a couple more units of Horatian Guards, which are again really cool looking axe infantry, dual wielding a really massive axe. So yeah, they're really good at beheading units, so I'm sure we'll catch some blood and gore later on. And yeah, I just really love that the way that these standard bearers look as well. Look, with the angel on the top, just the little things, but I don't usually pay attention to those. But yeah, I'm really getting into the cinematic part of Total War now as well. That's something I've really found about starting to record YouTube videos, is I take the time to acknowledge the game a bit more and just look at how cool it is. These spearmen looking like these are Auxilia Palatina, so the Palatina of Rome. Whether it's sword or spear, they're usually a good unit, and I think this is the best unit of spears that the Eastern Roman Empire can bring. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the armies. As I say, he's got a couple more units to carve outside. But yeah, let's actually take a look at what's going on over on this side, and let's get straight into normal speed as well. So it looks like he's set up a really thin line of Palatina spearmen. So they're gonna take all of the missile fire, and then it looks like, I mean, it looks like he's wasting his ammo, to be honest, because I can't actually see any of them dying. Oh wait, there are a few, but I think they're holding a lot better than they normally would, which, you know, I don't think that's really making sense, because there's a massive gap there that all of the axes would go through. But, you know, fair dues to him, he's set up a nice defensive position. He probably got some archers back here, yeah. Oh, I think they're out of ammo though, so it's a shame, but they're going to help hold this choke point, and they are pretty good in melee. As you can see, melee damage 40, melee attack 20, so they are going to be able to hold up against the rest of the army. I don't think they'll do very well against these axemen that are coming in with the throws. Oh, absolutely devastating, he caught one. Right in the hip. Gonna get the Gesitas in now as well to absolutely tear through these Sagittarii. They are pretty good in melee, but not against heavy sword units. So yeah, that's a little bit of a shame for them. But this is gonna be my allies' main task, is to just break through this single choke point, because it is a really awkward choke point to break through. As you can see, there's no other way round. Which is why I'm trying to board here and here so I can help my ally push through over here. But yeah, I'm not getting the best luck. So looked like I did manage to get a breach point on the walls. So I decided to take out this Onager crew, and I'm also now going to start throwing all of my spears into the pikemen if I can. So I'm just going to position them right in front of them, I do hope. Yeah, there you go, and as you can see, taking out quite a few of them just from throwing the horses' missile weapons in. And he's going to try and pull them back, or no, he's going to push them forward even. And did they go for a charge? Sometimes if they do that, I might go for a charge, but it doesn't look like I will. Or maybe do. No, I think I am going to pull them back. Or am I going to charge them? Yeah, I am. There we go. And I'm going to absolutely rip through the majority of this unit on this hand side. They do have a small detachment of them which managed to get into position, so I am going to fall back. But as you can see, I absolutely destroyed this right flank of their unit. So they are going to pull back and reform because they have lost over half of their men. And they are going to struggle to hold that choke point any longer. But I think he's going to set up again defensively just about here. So yeah, he's going to be down to a thin rank of 2 or 3 men deep. So I mean, it's still going to be really hard to push through. You know, three lines of pikes. As you can see, I would not want to charge onto that. It looks pretty menacing, if I do say so myself. So yeah, I'm bringing up some more units with missile weapons to try and soften them down a little bit more before I charge onto them. Because, you know, if you charge onto pikes in this game, you just lose a whole unit, basically. So he's actually bringing up a unit of Horatia guards to hold this choke point as well. But they don't have shields, so they are going to suffer against my missile weapons as well. So I think they should be firing, but for some reason they don't want to. Oh yeah, and I get a nice shot in the last moment, and then I get a little bit of a counter charge. But they got a really good charge off of my men, and that is gonna, yeah, as you can see, they've already took out 50 of them. So that was a really good play by Dreamif. So well done to you there to absolutely wrecking this unit. I think it's actually gonna rout. So yeah, it's a really good engagement over there for him, and I'm kind of a little bit worried now because I'm like, how am I going to break through on this side if he's just going to do stuff like that? But yeah, guys, I've got 3 of my units of chosen warriors, which have taken the walls, but they don't really want to advance any further because these crossbows will just wreck me. So I think this is their area. Oh no, I'm already in range of them, but I think they are shooting at me. But yeah, I'm just staying in shield wall to try and hold them as much as possible. I think he's targeting this unit, as you can see. I'm probably going to lose a whole unit there, but then at least he's got no more crossbows. If I were to push up and try and take the barricade, he would have just wrecked through my men. So yeah, I'm just going to keep pushing them up. I love how this looks when you've just got men moving up in shield wall, getting shot at me, and they're not gonna love it so much. But yeah, and then they come over this little embankment just to see a bunch of men charging straight at them. They're only some archer units, though I do believe some armored Sagittarii. And let's take a little look at the fighting over here as well. So we've got a couple of men who've come around the side. We've got a few more coming to reinforce them. These guys look like they're making a new defensive line in front of their main force. So I think that's a small unit. They're just stopping us from being outflanked, I do believe. And yeah, we are ripping through these guys. Let's take a look, see if we can catch anyone losing a head or getting stabbed. Do love the animations. So yeah, he just got slashed, and yeah, we're just gonna push forward as much as we can to break these guys. I think we are probably taking some, oh no, we aren't taking any more missile fire anymore, so I've got this unit attacking the barricade. We should be able to break through that pretty soon, and once we do, we'll be able to outflank this unit of spearmen. But yeah, these pikemen even are gonna be a real problem for us because, I mean, there's just no way for us to get past them until we can break that barricade down. And even still, they've got a unit of Ballistari ready to go into melee. So I've brought up my Onager crews. Now, they're not going to do much, but I just brought them up to maybe try and get some rear charges. Maybe if I can slip them through gaps or get them to help with the barricade or something like that. As you can see, we've managed to break down the barricade, and they're actually going to pull back. Oh, I think it's because my ally has managed to get through, so he's going to sort of make a tiny little noob box over here to try and defend his pikemen's rear. Back over on my side though, we've got a little bit of engagement. We did manage to break through over here, but he's got his general into the back of my chosen warriors, causing some real damage. I do have my horsemen charging onto the pikes, not the pikes, the spearmen. They weren't in a defensive position when I charged in, so I did manage to get a nice charge off, as you can see. Killed over 60 of them there, so that's really good. And these sword units are nearly completely gone, but they do fight pretty much to the last man. So yeah, that do have that going for me. And looks like the general's going to get a really nice charge over here on the Gesitas, and it looks like they've just torn straight through the unit. And this general is a really heavy melee cav as well, so he's gonna be able to withstand a bit of combat with these Gesitas. But they are going to start to whittle them down a little bit, so we're probably going to want to pull out at some point or get a unit to help out. Yeah, as you can see, I'm bringing over this small detachment to try and outflank the enemy. So he is going to actually pull back. Do I catch any of them? No, it looks like the majority of them do manage to pull back. With this guy taken out off his horse as he's trying to retreat, so unlucky for him. But the general is actually being forced out of the settlement by these sword units, and yeah, he is going to probably go over to try and deal with this small force. I do believe you can see them. And he's also got his other horse unit over here, sort of protecting this flank in case his cav come round. Yeah, so over here we've got the spearmen just taking on a few javelin men. I don't think these are going to do anything. There, if anything, to just tire the enemy out, get them to reduce their stats a little bit, and then it looks like he's gonna slowly keep charging in these Onager crews and stuff as well to keep whittling down their how tired they are. Their fatigue is the word I'm looking for. I did pull the cavalry back over here as well to try and, I think I'm going to take it over to deal with the shock cav. But we have broken over here these spearmen, along with the help of our ally. We are going to push through over this way and probably go for these spearmen. But we do need to keep an eye out for the cav charging back through here, because we didn't actually take that gatehouse, which would have been a good idea probably, but I don't think we had the men to do it at the time. Probably would have lost the units. So yeah, I'm bringing these guys over here, and the reason I'm doing that is because I'm starting to push my sword units up, and I'm getting the archers to push the tower so that the sword units can screen the tower against the enemy cav. So I'm just kind of sort of trying to screen them off. I'm also bringing my cav over, so I'm hoping that they'll go after my cav and not my swordsman, because otherwise, I mean, I really need to get these guys up on the walls to disrupt the enemy forces. Does have some units of crossbows though, which are facing the wrong way, which is good for me. If they were facing the other way, they'd probably start shooting sometime soon. But yeah, as you can see, take a look at the balance of power. We are still heavily thought to win, but the enemy has 1100 men and he has these two simple choke points to hold. And if you have a look, I am pretty much all out of missile weapons, so that's going to be really hard to break the pikemen. and my ally also is, apart from these couple of units of swords and this axe unit, he's out of missile weapons as well, so we're going to have to really use what we've got left to try and break these pikes when it comes down to the last stand, but that is going to be a bit of a problem for us. So let's take a look at this little charge going on over here. And they're probably going to get cut down straight away. They have pretty much zero armor. I don't know if their t-shirt counts as armor. Probably wouldn't do anything. But, I mean, they might get one kill. No, it's just getting cut down. Oh, that animation was amazing. He knocked them to the floor and just stabbed them down. Didn't get that close enough, but let's see if we can catch any more. So we got some Gasitas pushing through now. Trying to push through the lines. They're going to do a lot better of a job than those Onega crews. Look at this guy going deep into the enemy rank, behind enemy lines, trying to get a stabby stab. He's probably going to go flying. Oh no, stabbed through the neck. Gotta love the animations. But yeah, now he's pushing his pikemen up, so that's really going to become a slow infantry grind over here. As you can see, he's still got his missile weapons, but he didn't get to deploy them, so hopefully he's going to pull back and throw them in. Over here as well, we've got him trying to charge his cavalry in. I mean, there's no other real use for the cavalry anymore, apart from I would have preferred if he sent it out of the settlement to deal with the enemy cav, because my cav is, you know, pretty depleted. But I think I'm going to go for a charge over here, so let's get ready for that. I don't think he was paying attention. Oh yeah, he was paying attention, so I might pull back. But yeah, he charged out of the tree line, and I think he catches my men, because I don't think I could actually see that cav there. So it was a bit of a shame, but I've got a reinforcing unit which is going to come in. Lancers down, and we're going to charge straight through and knock many of them to the ground. So that was a really good charge for us. I think we've got one melee cav. Oh no, we actually managed to break my cav straight away there, it looks like, so that's a bit of a shame. So I probably would have won this engagement, considering I got the charge off. As you can see, yeah, he does seem to be dropping a little bit faster than I am. It's sort of evened out now, but then he brings his general over, and that's just going to completely end it. I tried to pull out and go for the general to counteract his charge a little bit, but yeah, this unit isn't going to last much longer. And yeah, as you can see, I'm nearly getting these guys to the walls. I'm actually trying to swap the guys off the towers to get the sword units on the towers. But they are just derping out a little bit, as you can see. There's a few guys in there, and the rest of them are just sitting over here. So I was a little bit annoyed that they weren't being hastily about it. But and yeah, look at this, guys. I remembered this happening. They just start flying, trying to sort of climbing up. You imagine? Oh, that's the screenshot for the battle right there, guys. I just ended the recording, so I've just started it back up. Sorry for that. Let's go ahead and get that screenshot I was talking about. There we go. It looks absolutely amazing. Oh, I gotta laugh at that. We got one more from this side. There we go. So yeah, that was something that was going on. That I was a little bit worried about, but yeah, it's one of those glitches that you see once in a while. But he does have this unit of cavalry just hidden over the hill in the tree line, and yeah, he is going to cause a bit of problem for my sword units. So it looks like I'm actually going to get there without any hassle, but he's just waiting for the perfect opportunity. And I am glad he didn't send a unit of archers over here. Would have caused some problems. I think I'm actually firing on that watchtower, or maybe I'm just... No, it looks like I'm just sitting there. Probably wasn't microing. I think we're just trying to push through these units. But as you can see, he's getting them into defensive testudo just in time to stop our charges. And then he's going to walk his pikemen forward just as we engage. So this is... basically what's left of our force now is just a combination of a few units of swords and a few units of missile units without any ammo. my cavalry is dead. My allies' cavalry is all dead but this unit, and we still have our generals left as well. And as you can see over here, I've actually missed the charge, but he gets a really good cav charge out with his unit of cav. He manages to get into my archers, so yeah, it was a bit of a shame, but he didn't take out too many of them, so it wasn't too bad for us. But he is going to pull them out before my swords can reinforce. And yeah, he actually got a good charge off on these men that were waiting on the bottom of the tower. So yeah, all of the guys actually climbed off the tower, which was, again, he's just holding me up, trying to buy himself some time on these other flanks. So yeah, well played there. But I mean, maybe if he'd have brought both units of cav out and just sandwiched one of my sword units, he'd have probably broke them straight away, and then he would have done the same with the other one. I would have been in trouble, especially if he brought his general over. As you can see, he's sort of had him over there. I did see him run over here, so I told my ally to send this cav over at some point in the battle. I don't know exactly when. I think he was going to try and send it round to help my swordsman. But yeah, I've got a few units over here in reserve, just getting their breath back. I think they were fighting, but I didn't think there was much point at all just trying to slam against these pikes. It wasn't really doing anything. But yeah, it is really starting to drop out of our favour now, guys. And as you can see, from the start of the battle, we outnumbered him. What's that? 5-3. And now it is pretty even in the man count compared to what it was. So yeah, I mean, he's holding really well, and as you can see, he's still got ammunition left in his crossbows, so he's really using them to good effect. He's probably wiping out these units down here. Let's see if we can get a shot off. I don't know if he's actually shooting. Oh, well, that's very civilized of you. Oh, here we go, we're gonna get a volley. I don't know if that was the best position for a shot, but yeah, he's got these spearmen actually pulling back now. We are making a lot of good headway, but now that our infantry is in the lines of the pikes, we are going to struggle. Especially because, as I say, we've got no ammunition. We do have this unit coming over, so hopefully we're going to be able to use that to break through. And I'm going to commit my general pretty soon into taking this spear line. Yeah, as you can see, I'm sending them up now. So he's ready to get into battle. He's seeing the majority of his army either rout or die. And yeah, you can see now that the balance of power is, in terms of man count, is neck and neck right now, 800 men each pretty much. He is losing a few more men than we are, but yeah, his cavalry over here has absolutely wiped out one of my units of swords. I did manage to get another unit of swords up onto the walls, but he had the unit of pikes there ready to deal with them, and yeah, they didn't really do anything. So he really dealt with this deployment over here quite well. I probably should have had the unit of cavalry over there with them as well to protect them. But over here, he is going to manage to wipe out our forces. Oh no, we actually get our ally to charge in over there, so that does help us out. Manages to stop us from being flanked as bad as we would have been. So we managed to take out this Tagmata cavalry, it looks like. I can't actually remember who wins on this flank, but it is going to be pretty decisive whoever does. So yeah, this has come down to a little bit of a grind. We probably would win, I would imagine, considering they've only got shock cav. I know we've got a very few men, but these guys tend to hold out till the very end, so hopefully they'll last as long as they can. No, it looks like we're being outflanked now, so they are probably all going to die. Yeah, and over here, he isn't actually throwing his missile weapon, but it looks like we're starting to break through the lines. As you can see, he's actually getting a lot of friendly fire hits onto his pikemen. I don't think he should have been shooting at our units up here. Well, maybe it was worth it, but as you can see, this flank is completely breaking because of the missile fire from his own men. and he is going to decide to pull back these pike units. So let's pursue with the men, and yeah, they're just going to get absolutely wrecked by all of the crossbows. But I think we're going to catch this unit of pikes. Yeah, we are, and we're going to deal with them hopefully. It looks like they're going to rout off the field. I think they are. Yeah, they only got 15 of them left. Over here, as you can see, their cav did win the day, so we definitely used his cavalry really well outside of the city. But I had 4 units of cav, but I sent them inside the city. I probably should have sent them outside to deal with his cavalry first, and then we would have been able to take out his general as well. Talking of generals, my generals actually won over here with the support of a few depleted units. Well, I say a few depleted units, I mean like 7 spearmen and then a bunch of swords as well. But he doesn't have any infantry to cover this area, so he's sending over some Ballastarii who've lost their ammo. But yeah, I mean, these are okay in combat as I've said, but they're not going to be able to hold up against my general. And we are going to start taking the capture point now as well, which is going to be a big difference in this battle. So I'm going to leave this unit of swords to screen off the enemy general. It looks like we're actually going to get a general v general charge over here as well. Oh yeah, absolutely amazing. Knocking a bunch of them down to the ground. And yeah, I don't know what the stats are going to be for them now, but yeah, they've lost, what, 42 men. Magister Militum is down to half strength, but that's from the cav battle before. And yeah, he's going to continue to wipe out that general, but it is going to be a pretty even fight now that they're stuck in melee. So yeah, we'll see who can come out on top there. That's probably going to be the deciding factor, because if they break, then his general's going to be able to get down into the rear. But no, it looks like his general's actually died, and his bodyguard is being cut down a lot faster than the Saxon general is falling. So yeah, we've got behind the enemy men, but our spearmen are now breaking. Did manage to get a nice rear charge off over here with my swords as well. I'm going to pull them behind. Hopefully he doesn't engage me over here. I think he's actually got the same idea. It looks like he's trying to get behind my men. So yeah, I'm going to charge into the back of them, give them a bit of a melee problem, a morale problem, and we do actually manage to break them just as these crossbows get into position. So we're going to send these guys, send the general off to deal with them, and this sword unit's going to go and deal with the tower hopefully, and reinforce the general as well. But yeah, as you can see, the enemy still has, you know, more men than us now, so it really is a dire situation. He's got a couple units of cav, heavily depleted, but still they would manage to get a really good rear charge into our men, probably break them. And he has this pretty healthy unit of pikemen as well, which are still fresh, haven't seen much combat, and they're going to come to reinforce these lines. And all we are down to now is his general, my general, and this unit over here. So yeah, we are in a real dire situation. I'm going to sort of hold these pikes back as long as possible, so to make them have to walk towards us, not run, because otherwise they will get to our general and reinforce the crossbows. So my main job over here is just to bring these guys back slow enough so that his pikes can't reinforce the crossbows. As you can see, my general's obviously winning over here. Got them backs to the walls, literally. And yeah, they are, you know, they're not going to last. I don't think they even have any ammo left, so they're just going to try and fight to the last man. But I'm pretty sure they're going to break soon enough. But yeah, my general, he is taking some archer fire, but that's also going to be firing on their own men, as you can see. Just a couple of shots firing on the Ballastarii from the tower. Some friendly fire did manage to get them wavering. I'm sure they're going to rout soon enough. Yeah, they did. And now I do believe, yeah, I'm still pulling these guys back. He did catch one or two of them. Still pulling these guys back because I want to be able to outflank these pikemen. But yeah, also he's got his cavalry coming up, and luckily this unit of cavalry broke. If that didn't break, we would have been screwed, because it would have gone in and disrupted our men in time for this unit to get in. But yeah, as you can see, this is really going to be close. If this unit of cav manages to slip through, it's going to be able to reinforce the pikemen. But it just manages to get up, and it charges straight into my general. And I was really worried then when that happened. I thought being shock cav might be able to kill my general off. But yeah, he's going to leave them in melee, and they are going to keep whittling down my men. But I do believe uh, I've got the best general that the Saxons can bring. Plus, I'm going to send these guys in. I did sort of trick him into thinking I was going to charge those pikes, but instead I just went to kill this unit of cavalry and save my general. That's the most important thing right now. And as you can see, down to 170 men to 120 men, and this is absolutely into. I really didn't know what to do. I mean, the balance of power is in our favour, but you know, these pikemen could just absolutely tear through our men. As you can see, they're pushing into the back lines of our men now, and once they do, there's really not much that we're going to be able to do. Now, these pikemen are going to actually retreat round the back of their area. I mean, we are starting to capture the capture point, but they do realise that they're about to be outflanked by this unit. So my plan now is to send my units around this way, and for the ally to just attack him head on, and that way we're going to be able to get a nice rear charge off on them. So yeah, I mean, if I was the enemy over here, I'd probably want to go here, sort of make a defensive line, so that they can't be outflanked, because then we'd have to run all the way round, and yeah, we'd take more shots from the archer towers and stuff. But at this point, I mean, it's a shame he can't get into square formation, but yeah, he's going to hold as long as he can. I think he's going to get back into his pipe wall, yeah, just in time. So we managed to trick the allied general into charging onto him. But yeah, he's going to wait for my men to reinforce. And yeah, it is just down to this small engagement now. This is all that is left of the battle, apart from a Bastion Onager crew. But yeah, I mean, he's going to try and pursue and get into combat. Yeah, I think he's managed to get these guys into combat. So he's just going to prod them to death as much as he can. But I'm going to get a nice rear charge off with my own men. And there's not much he can do about it, because, as I can say, he's got no other units to hold out. And this is the final infantry grind now. So, yeah, as you can see, 120 men down to with 40 men of the enemy. And this is going to be it for the battle, guys. So, yeah, I hope you've enjoyed. But let's take a look at the stats before we end the replay. Or I think if we end it, we can take a look at the stats. So yeah, let's take a look at the stats, see the kills on the men. Hope you did enjoy that battle, guys. I really enjoyed playing it. As always, I love this game. But yeah, my general doing amazing, getting over 320 kills. My swordsman, chosen warriors, didn't really do too well for what they're worth. I mean, got a few units doing really well, but then, you know, 10, 31, 41, 60... I mean, they should be getting more kills than that. I mean, 150, 99, 96, 125, that's good, but on a whole, they did average. My archers, complete waste of money. I mean, they're only, 100 each, so I only wasted 300, but probably should have just brought another cheap unit of swordsman. And my cavalry doing pretty well as well, apart from this unit that got caught out in between the general and the other shock cav unit. And my artillery, I mean, they managed to make a few breaches in the walls, which is all we needed them to do. So let's, oh, hang on. This isn't even my force, this is Oris's force, so yeah, he did really well. As I say, a bit of a waste on the archers, but let's take a look at my force. No, that was my force, sorry. So yeah, then my allies' force did really well with his axe warriors, which was to be expected. His Onager actually doing a lot better than mine in terms of taking out men. I don't think he actually targeted the walls too much. He might have made one breach with them, but he mainly just mounted the walls with his towers. And yeah, I mean, his Gasita's doing really as well. Across the board, again, pretty average. If you were to sort of do like kills per man, if that were to make sense. So how well they actually did all together. But yeah, I mean they did really well in terms of holding and pushing through the enemy lines. These javelins as well doing really good. But yeah, well done to Dreamin'. If you did really well in terms of his defense. I mean, he did have a lot of pikemen which were really hard for us to deal with. But yeah, as you can see, he's just racking up the kills across the board. Every one of his units did well. There's not one of his units that, I mean, some did better than others. This spear unit didn't do great, but I mean, he did have gold chevrons units, but I think so did we. As I say, it was a very high costing battle, and yeah, he's got over what I mean his crossbows. Oh my god, almost 600 kills, 559 kills, 481 kills. Uh, yeah, his Horatian guards doing amazing as well. As you saw, they absolutely repped through one of my sword units before, and his cavalry as well. I mean, across the board, he did amazing, even as general. So yeah, well done to Dreaminy for playing. Thanks for Oris for playing as well. Really did enjoy that battle. So yeah, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this episode. As always, I always enjoy recording episodes for you guys, and I always enjoy playing with you. So if you want to play a game with me on any Total War that I own, please do leave a comment down below, and I will get back to you, and we'll try and organise a place and a time. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, guys. Make sure to drop a like, and I will see you in the next episode.